Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome from Brazil to the FIA Drivers' Press Conference on this Thursday morning at Interlagos, featuring today on the front row from left to right, Felipe Massa of Ferrari, Mark Webber of Red Bull and Jean-Eric Vergne of Toro Rosso. And on our back row, Max Chilton from Marussia in the middle and Guido van der Garde from Caterham. We will be joined in a few moments' time by Charles Pic as well. But I'm going to start with you, Mark. 215th and final Grand Prix start this weekend. I know you've had time to come to terms with your retirement from Formula One, but when you climb into that Red Bull for one last time, it's going to be quite emotional.
Oh, I think on Sunday, it'll be a little bit different, but still feels like a normal race at the moment. So looking forward to Sunday in many ways, in terms of obviously pushing for a good result, but also, I'm ready to stop and looking forward to the extended winter that I'll have, obviously, and the new challenges around the corner. So getting out of the car, Sunday there'll be a few things which will be obviously for the last time in terms of Formula One, but I'm pretty relaxed at the moment and looking forward to the race.
What do you think you might miss most of all?
Oh, I still think, there's certain situations in Formula One which are super rewarding. Obviously, driving the car on the limit at certain venues is still very satisfying, no question about it. You've got Suzuka, Spa, Monte Carlo, come qualifying day and even racing at certain circuits, it's very challenging and rewarding, but so I'll miss some of that. But like I said, I'm on a little bit of a slippery slope now, obviously, in terms of you've got to be careful not to test it too much in terms of your performance and what you used to be able to do. And I still think I'm driving well, but I don't want to be around not driving well. So it's inevitable you're going to miss certain parts. For sure, the adrenaline and working with people like Adrian Newey, stuff like that, is you don't get to do that often, obviously. So that'll be something which you'll miss a bit. But there comes a time where you've got to let go, and I'll still have good adrenaline next year, obviously, with Porsche, and that'll be a good balance.
So many highs and lows from your association with Formula One. Which period have you enjoyed driving the least, and which period have you enjoyed driving the most?
I think the hardest and most difficult cars to drive was certainly in the mid-2000s, obviously, when we had all the refuelling and the tyre war. Those cars were tricky, and you had to push. Every time you went out, there was no such thing as pacing at any point, really, in qualifying, practice, or Sunday afternoon. So it really was a tight envelope for a Grand Prix driver in those eras to operate, and that was what we were trained and we aspired to do. So they were good times. Obviously, a lot of power as well. The V10s were plenty of horsepower. So the lap times that were floating around then were pretty impressive, and then in the early 2000s as well, to a degree. I think that we've had a lot of changes in the last 3 or 4 years. Obviously, the racing's gone through some boring phases. Obviously, so we've introduced some DRS, things like that. Some things which I think have been a benefit to the sport. It's taken a little bit of the tradition out of it, I suppose. Some of the passing moves and things like that, which probably were not as difficult to achieve as years gone by. They are achievable now. So that's a little bit sniff fabricated, but I think good for the neutral at home. And obviously, tyres, we've had some challenging times on those as drivers and of teams, trying to understand particularly, the new brand these days of, heavily modified pace during races is probably not as rewarding as it was, but that's the way it is. So can't always have it. I've driven in so many different regulations and won championship, but just so many different scenarios. So, generally you have to enjoy it. It's your job.
Well, I'm sure you'll be greatly missed by everyone here in the paddock, mate. Good luck for the future. For you, Felipe, it's the end of an era too. Your association with Ferrari, which began in 2006, comes to an end. And what a place for it to come to an end, your home race at Interlagos.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's a fantastic place, to race and, finish incredible time, with Ferrari. I would say very long time. It's the 8th championship, but I'm inside Ferraris even before Formula One, so it's a long time, and really just need to say thank you to all of them, everybody who I work together in Ferrari. Stefano as well, you know, that is a big friend, and he did a lot for me as well, you know, Domenicali. And everybody, I mean, everybody I work together, so I hope we can enjoy, you know, the last race here in Ferrari, and having a lot of fun, and having a good result as well, you know, to be even more you know, emotional at the end, you know.
Do you pinch yourself, though, when you think back that you've spent 8 years with Ferrari, the team that I think every boy racer dreams of racing for?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Ferrari is definitely a dream for all the drivers, you know. So I remember my one of the first go-kart I had, it was red, you know. My first overall was red, so I was always, you know, supporting Ferrari since I was a kid, and you know, racing 8 years for Ferrari is definitely, you know, a dream come true, you know. And so, you know, getting old as well, you know. So, but also it's another restart, you know, for my career. I'm really happy, you know, and looking forward for my future, you know, in Williams, you know, different teams, and so really a lot to do still in Formula One.
How important for your morale was it that Williams had the faith in you to extend your Formula One career, to take you on and try and restart, you know, a period of success that they'll be hoping for from next season? And also, how important for the sport is it that a Brazilian driver still stays in Formula One?
Yeah, I think it's first of all, I mean, really, I believe we can do a lot with Williams. You know, everything is changing. You know, it's brand new rules for the championship. So I think it's also a good time. You know, that we start something. You know, new, different. You know, that you never know. I mean, doing a good job in a team that has also all the infrastructure to do, like Williams has. You know, everything inside the company to do a good car. So everything is possible. So they believe in me. So I'm really happy and motivated to drive for them. You know, to work and to do everything I can. You know, to help the team to be competitive again. You know, which I'm sure everything is possible. And what was the second question?
And how important for a Brazilian to stay in Formula
It's
One?
very important. So we know how important is Brazil in Formula One. You know, the history for so many drivers, so many championships, so many victories. So for Brazil, Formula One is very important. So we have the motor racing on the blood, you know, and so it's very, very important to keep Brazilian driving Formula One. And also, we're not having a great time in Brazil, you know, for the, you know, small categories, you know. So I think it's important, you know, so, you know, to give a push and to help for our future, because for the moment it doesn't look very nice, you know. So, but I'm, you know, trying to help and you know, even to give some good ideas for the federation, you know, to help and pushing for our future, you know.
Thank you, Felipe. Best of luck for the weekend. John-Eric, if I can and turn to you, your second full season in Formula One. How difficult has this year been for you? Off the track, when Mark announced he was retiring, there was the hope of a Red Bull seat, tantalisingly close, but it never ultimately came your way.
It was a difficult season. I have to say I've been quite unlucky, you know, many races not finishing while we should have been in the points. We had a really good car to start off the season with, but then I guess, you know, with the introduction of the new tires, everything went a little bit more difficult for us, and yeah, we ran out of points for a long time. It has been really tough. Obviously, yeah, there was the Red Bull seat opportunity that went for Daniel. It was, of course, a big disappointment for me. You know, as a racing driver, you want to win races, be one day world champion, and obviously it's the team to be in to do this, to succeed. But you know, I try to look the positive. I guess if Red Bull chose Daniel, that means there is things that I haven't done good, and you know, I have to look myself in the mirror, try to understand the reasons, and try and get better. The challenge with Toro Rosso next year will be massive. I'm really happy to stay in that team, and you know, everything is possible, even staying in this team. You know, it's not a backup plan, whatever. I really believe in this team, and I want to grow as a racing driver with this team, which is growing a lot too.
When you miss out on a big seat, though, is it difficult to keep your head high? Is it difficult to keep your morale and your focus?
Yeah, I guess for a few races it has been difficult because I think I was doing really good races. You know, I was on a good run from Monaco, Canada. Then Silverstone was getting to be really well as well, but obviously I had the big tire explosion, and then there was the call of Red Bull to put that in the Red Bull for the young driver test, and you know at that moment I straight away understood that this year was not going to be for me, even though I tried to do my best. So yeah, and then there was a couple of really difficult races in terms of pace, everything. So it was quite difficult to manage it, I guess.
Good luck for this weekend. Hope you finish on a high.
Thanks.
If I can turn to Guido and to Max, a question for you both. We know where Mark's going to be next year. We know where Felipe and Jean-Eric are going to be, but you two, we're not sure at the moment. So Max first, what can you tell us about the future?
I'm not going to speculate any more than people already have. We've had some good discussions over the last couple of weeks, and you know, I'm happy with those conversations. They've gone quite well, so I'm just looking forward to hopefully being back next year and having a bit of a better chance.
No doubt in your mind that you ideally would like to stay with Marussia.
Yeah, Marussia have been great to me. You know, they gave me the chance to get into Formula One, and you know, it's not easy for us where we are. But this year, I think we've done a pretty sterling job with what we've got. It's not over yet. We learned that last year here with 5 laps to go. So we're fingers crossed, hoping that it can finish well. But you know, the car's looking strong for next year. And when big rule changes tend to come into Formula One, it gives the smaller teams a bit of a chance. So looking forward to Australia hopefully next year.
We'll talk about that Constructors' Championship fight in a moment. But Guido, what's the future hold for you?
Well, I can't tell you nothing yet. I mean, the management is very busy at the moment, and hopefully they can do a good job. I think I've proven myself during the last part of the half season, and I think I've been doing a very good job. So hopefully we'll be there next year.
Is it easier to have those negotiations after a season of Formula One, do you think, or is it actually easier to make more of an impression by your results from the junior categories, trying to get in for the first time?
I think after a season it's better to negotiate, because then you've shown already what you can do, and I think we've shown already this year what I did. So let's see.
So tell us about the battle this weekend then. 13th place will be good enough for Caterham in the Constructors' Championship if there's no Marussia car ahead of them. At the moment, Marussia have that 10th place, and with it the financial benefits of 10th. How are both camps feeling? Let's start with Max first. It's a massive weekend for both teams.
Yeah, for sure. We know how important this weekend is coming into it. The worst thing is to kind of start panicking, because you start then not concentrating on the right things. The best thing to do is treat it like a normal race weekend and try and get the most out of the car. And if we can do that and we can race well, then there's nothing that we can kind of be sad about, because we gave it the best shot we can. We've done that every race this year, and it's worked. But with the weather in Brazil, it's never over until that checkered flag.
Does that mean then, Guido, that Caterham are praying for rain?
Absolutely, because by pure speed it's going to be tough in the dry conditions, and we need some luck. We need some other cars maybe to collision or maybe to have a mechanical failure. But the rain will help a lot, and our car seems to work quite well in the rain. Also, our car is quite competitive here also in the dry, so we have to give it a big push, the last chance, and hopefully we can do the same as last year.
Good luck to you both on that one. I'm sure there are lots of questions in our room. Name a publication before you ask your question, please.
Flavio Vanetti, Corriere della Sera, to Felipe. Which was your happiest moment in Ferrari and the toughest one? Can we say the toughest one was after the loss of the championship here, or the period after the accident in Budapest?
Well, I think I would say the happiest moment was, I think the first time I won in Brazil, 2006, with the overall green, yellow, I think that was definitely the best.